Hello, friend, and welcome to the Shannon Blanchard podcast. Today's episode is a lucky little bite-sized episode, I'm calling it. It's going to be very targeted, and we are talking about one simple tweak that you can make in your messaging that will support you in attracting and booking high-paying clients. So this episode is for you if you are struggling to book clients and or you are potentially struggling to figure out how to really talk about your services. What we're going to talk about has to do with positioning, because positioning is the difference between the virtual assistants and online service providers who are booking clients at $15 to $20 an hour, and at that they are really struggling to get clients, compared to the online service providers who are attracting and booking clients at $35 to $45 an hour just starting out. All of that has to do with how you are positioning yourself. So if you listen and implement what we're talking about today, which I promise you is going to be so simple and easy for you, you are going to wonder why you didn't start doing this earlier. So to start today's episode, I'm going to read 3 example hooks to you that all have the same problem, and I want you to see if you can tell what the problem is with these hooks. So hook number 1, if you are struggling with time management, a virtual assistant can help you with that. Hook number 2, if you want to get more eyes on your work, here's what a Pinterest manager can do for you. And lastly, here is hook number 3. Here's how an online business manager can increase your business revenue. Okay, could you tell what was wrong with those hooks? If not, and if you're actually thinking, Shannon, I have made content that sounds exactly like that, good. You are in the right place. I'm actually so happy to hear that, because what we're going to talk about today is going to be so helpful for you. So here's the problem with those hooks, and there are 2 different things. The first problem is that those hooks are positioning the job title as the solution. And the second problem is that the pain points and desires that those hooks are hitting on and speaking to are generic. They are not based on a unique, specific, ideal client avatar. So here's why content like that just does not work anymore. The online space as we know it today is very different than how it used to be 4 to 5 years ago. Like when I started my business, you could show up online and say, I'm a virtual assistant to creatives, and you could expect that people are going to find you. Now, however, the online entrepreneurial space is much more specified, meaning people don't just want a virtual assistant who can do admin tasks. They want a virtual assistant for brand and web designers, or they want a marketing expert who will help them grow their online presence. People are looking for specificity, which is honestly a really good thing. It makes the online space more fun, it's more unique and interesting, and it gives you the opportunity to really hone in on what you love to do. But it does mean that you need to calibrate to this change, because even if you are somebody who's just starting your business recently, part of the problem is that a lot of the advice that you will see out there, especially for virtual assistants, I will say, is really outdated advice. So it's important that you understand how to show up in the online space today. That's the first thing you need to know, is that generic content is going to leave you in the dust, and you have to start being really specific to start attracting and booking clients. So that's the context that you need to have to understand where the online space is at today and why that kind of content just is not going to work. So let's dig into the 2 problems that I explained earlier and understand how to solve them. So the first problem I told you about with these hooks is that they are positioning the job title as the solution. So when I say, if you want more eyes on your work, here's what a Pinterest manager can do for you. Where is the solution in that hook? The solution is the Pinterest manager, right? Now, oftentimes why people do this, unconsciously even, is because they are afraid of inserting themselves within their actual sales pitch. Like they are afraid of being confident and saying, I can solve your problems. And so instead what they do is they take their job title and they put that as the solution. They say, I'm a virtual assistant. Here's what a virtual assistant can do for you. Here's what an OBM can do for you. But the problem with doing that is that you are expecting your audience to make the leap from seeing the job title as the solution to then seeing, oh, you are the specific Pinterest manager I need. You are the virtual assistant I need. You are essentially educating them on the value of your job title for free, without actually converting them. And in this process, you are putting an extra step, an extra barrier in front of them becoming your client, because you are putting the mental load on them to see you as their next team member that they want and need. So obviously, we don't want this. This is not what we want to do. The goal in your marketing is to remove as many barriers as possible to them hiring you and seeing you as the solution that they need. Now, here's the second problem. I see this kind of content all the time. To be honest with you, it is the most common type of content that I see from new online service providers. And I know the process that goes behind it, because at this point I have sat with hundreds of new OSPs. We've talked about their content and I've heard this process. And what happens is you sit down and you think, okay, what's some content about virtual assistants that I could make that my niche would want to hear? And I get it, because this is exactly what I did. I used to think to myself, okay, what kind of content can I come up with that brand and web designers are going to want to hear? How can I make them see that they need a virtual assistant? But the problem with this kind of process is that, again, you are starting with the job title. And so any pain points or desires that you hit on in your marketing are inherently going to be super generic. They are not going to be specific. They are not going to speak to your audience, because your audience isn't the first thing that you have in mind. As a reminder, your audience is not your niche. Your audience is your ideal client avatar. It is that match made in heaven, the person you can't wait to work with. So that's the person that you need to think of first when you are creating content. Because when you think of your job title first, you're necessarily going to come up with really generic pain points and desires, which is going to lead to generic content, which will lead to no bookings. Boo, we don't want that, right? So what you want to do instead is every single time you're creating content, think about that match made in heaven, the person you want to work with, and think about her real life. What are the real struggles that she's going with in her business? What is the real desire in her heart? Where does she want to bring her business? How does she want to feel in her business? That's the information that you want to be using in your marketing. What happens is when you are using those really specific and unique pain points and desires, you then can easily, using your services, position yourself as the necessary solution. So here's the core shift that I want you to see. You're going to stop selling the value of your title, of your position, and you are going to start selling the value of you and what you uniquely have to offer. Because here's the thing that I will tell you, after years of experience as an OSP myself, nobody's really hiring a virtual assistant, an OBM, a project manager. They're hiring you. They want your personality. They want your energy, your approach, your methods, your unique way of solving their problems. So when you start showing up that way in your content, like, yes, I am unique. I have something unique to offer. I am everything that you need in your business. Here's what I can do for you. When you show up that way, immediately you stop competing with anybody else who's got the same job title as you. You no longer have to worry about competition, because nobody else has the unique combination of your specific ideal client avatar, their specific pain points, specific desires, your unique personality, and your specific solutions. Nobody else has that. You become one of one, and you get to show up with that level of confidence, which comes through in your marketing and helps even more with booking your dream clients. So let's go through a little before and after, shall we? So you can see the magic of this. So this is the generic hook that I read to you at first. If you are struggling with time management, a virtual assistant can help you. Again, boo, we don't like her. She's boring. She's not speaking to anybody. It does not position you as a solution. Get her out of here, okay? Here's your new hook for you. If you're a course creator with a half-finished launch plan and you've been saying, I need to launch my course for the last 6 months, here's how I will help you get your course launched and students enrolling ASAP. Okay, do we see? She's specific. She's speaking to somebody. She has something to say. Here's what I will do for you. I'm going to help you launch your course and get students enrolled. That is the kind of content that is going to stand out, that will get people to stop scrolling and actually read and see what you have to offer and why they need to book a call with you right now. So the formula is very simple. What you want to do is identify your dream client's lived experience of their pain points and desires. And then again, use your services to position yourself as the solution. So in the example I just gave, where I said, I'll help you with your launch plan and getting students enrolled, talk about how you could do that. So for example, it could be, I'll help you with your project management to map out what's left. I will help you with the student onboarding process, making sure that everybody gets everything that they need. That's how you can use your services to just say, I will do these things for you. That's the solution that they need. You don't need to tell them, I'm going to do it exactly this way using this program and here are the details. They just want to see, are you going to solve my problem? And if you say, I'll help you with your launch plan, I'll help you get organized, I'll help you with the student onboarding, there you go. That's all you need. So it's really, really simple. And if you are somebody who is already maybe doing this a little bit, this is something I want you to keep coming back to. I do this all the time for myself, is thinking about, okay, what are her pain points and desires and how is it showing up in her real life? What are the symptoms that she's experiencing because of these pain points? What does her life look like day to day? How does she wake up feeling? What are the actual scenarios that she's in? You can get better and better and better at this. And this is the kind of thing that legitimately, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten comments and messages from people saying like, oh my gosh, you read my mind. That's exactly the situation I'm in. That's exactly what I was thinking, what I was feeling, what I was struggling with. Because you're being specific and you're really thinking about the lived scenario, the lived experience. Here's the homework I want you to complete today. I want you to go back to your last 3 pieces of content. And I want you to ask yourself, am I selling the value of my position or the value of me uniquely? And if you look at your content and you think, well, I'm not selling anything at all. Well, girl, we've got another problem that we need to talk about. If you're not selling at all, now you know how to get started, right? But I want you to look back at that content. And if you are selling the value of your position, your job title, I want you to pick one of those pieces of content and figure out how you could rewrite it. So you don't even need to start from scratch. I want you to just look back at your old content and redo it with this new method. And not only is this going to get your dream clients to see you as the solution that they need in their business, but also this is going to help you show up so much more confidently. Because when you show up and you say, you know what? Yeah, I am the shit. I can help you with your problems. I can provide solutions. I am here for you. I'm going to be the best virtual assistant, the best OBM you ever could have hired. When you choose to show up and stand in that energy, oh, it feels so good. It's honestly liberating and it's going to unlock so much content for you. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, Shannon, how the heck do I understand what an ideal client avatar is? How do I know how to build an offer suite around her? How do I create content that's going to convert consistently? Well, that is exactly what I created Lucky Day for. Lucky Day is my signature 8-week business building program. We work closely one-on-one together to start your business from the ground up. So if you are interested in joining the next round of my program, which is kicking off on May 4th, check the show notes below for the waitlist. Waitlist not only gets first access to enrollment, but you also get some pretty sick discounts, might I just say. So make sure you join the waitlist and I'll be reaching out as soon as doors open. All right, my friends, that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder, it would mean so much if you would be willing to rate the show and share it with somebody who you think it would benefit. I'm so happy to have you here, and make sure you stick around for the next episode because we're going to be talking about sustainability and a few core areas within your business that you need to focus on to build a business that's truly sustainable and life-giving for years to come. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.